Welcome back to the channels. I'm Caleb.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Nate.
And we're the
Cos-Bros.
Cos-Bros. And we have an awesome episode for you guys today.
Oh, yes.
Before we get started talking about the brand new Batman movie coming out this coming week, we just want to give a little bit about what we got going on and what we are doing here at the Cos-Bros community.
Right.
So we just actually went down to Pacific Beach, and we just did a little shooting. What did we do? What did we get into, Matt?
All right, so yeah, he hopped in his custom Daredevil suit. I hopped in my in-game Captain America suit. And Nathan,
I was behind the camera this time,
yes.
so basically, I just had like this wonderful little gimbal just falling around.
Yeah. Very interesting. My first ever experience doing such a thing, but it was a good time. The vibes were still awesome. That people did not look at us like we were alien, like weirdos or
Surprisingly,
anything like that.
the feedback you got from everybody was actually really positive.
It really was.
It kind of felt like it was Comic-Con.
Yeah, kind of.
It did. I was like expecting a different crowd, to be honest, because it was a Sunday during President's Day weekend.
Exactly.
So I was thinking there's gonna be a lot of people out, a lot of drunk people, like, oh my gosh, these superheroes, and there was a lot more people like kind of just chilling with their families, checking out the beach.
Yeah.
But that led to some cool interactions.
Yeah, some genuine interactions.
Some really good stuff. All the girls blushing when they see Matt walking by, their hero.
What are you talking about, man? They were blushing at first when they saw you as Daredevil.
Yeah, there was quite a few Daredevil fans. That was pretty cool.
There was a couple of cool ones.
And I think every single person that was a fan of Daredevil also made it a habit to point out that your custom suit was better than Netflix version of the suit.
I heard somebody say that. I was like,
so that was kind of cool. That must have been very validating.
That was we had a great time, and it's definitely something that we were wanting to try out, just see what was going to be like. And so we've been on a few times, and sometimes the vibes are kind of weird and people kind of stare at you, and there was a lot of that. But then like there's a lot of people like honking or like just stopping me like, oh my gosh, you guys' costumes are awesome, like literally like just seeing their faces like geek out, and like that's what I like. It makes me happy, you know?
Of course, yeah.
I mean, what else do we have new going on with you guys?
Oh man, as far as the cosplay realm going, not a whole lot on my front. Just waiting on updates from my Nightwing suit from Gaslight Co.
Yeah, have you heard any updates on that? Or?
I have not, but he seems to be getting back on that grind. According to his Instagram stories, definitely posting some more in progress posts. He just posted a phenomenal suit that he's doing for some Robin custom design that he's working on.
I really love the neck on that. It just looks so clean.
It does. Yeah.
It looked really good. I mean, I wasn't too big a fan of the style of cape. And speaking of Gaslight Co, so I might be the next suit, if not like the next series of couple suits.
Yeah, a couple episodes you guys were talking about your updates with Gaslight Co.
And then you're probably like right behind there, probably like one or two seats behind. But yeah, he just finished making my gloves. And got a couple of rubber pieces that he's gonna make, the cape, and then airbrushing it, and it's good to go, which I'm like,
I kind of feel like it's like a neck and neck like a race right now. It's like who's gonna get done first, you know?
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely
mine.
What'd you pay for yours?
I paid half of mine back in January.
I was in like November.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Yeah, I think I paid all of it in November, but he fell behind, and I had surgery and stuff, so I've kind of just like, hey, you know, when it comes, it's kind of everything's lining up for it to be like arriving around that perfect time, and just kind of figuring out like the custom pieces that I'm gonna have made for it. Well, probably won't be out with the first original suit, but it kind of gives me time to like have a different look at the start, which is kind of, I always like to kind of have that, and then you have that little upgrade in. But another thing that I got going on before we get into our main discussion is I also am hitting the green light on a new Daredevil yellow suit. Ooh. Really excited for this one. Nice. It's been kind of simple, the concept, and I had a lot of extra pieces that I could use, but the cool thing is like the gloves, the batons, and also the emblem are all like new custom pieces, so it's really gonna kind of break it up and make it look a lot different than my past suits. I'm actually having backstage cosplay Eros make me the large D out of leather with the red
leather this time.
Yeah, and so I have the leotard, which is like, you know, it's like the red suit, and I'm just waiting on the full body yellow suit, and then what I'll probably do is like I'll just do a little airbrush on it and stuff, and you know, I have to finish airbrushing the helmet yellow, but I'm really excited because I think it's just another Daredevil to add to the collection.
I mean, I feel like retro is becoming a big thing now for cosplay. So like anyone who can do a retro or like an old classic version of the hero is a big thing to like go for now.
It really is. Yeah, like that one Spidey suit I have always does really well on like Instagram and stuff. Everyone likes that classic style. You know what I mean?
That's true.
It is cool. I like that. I like the classics comic style. You know. Definitely.
Perhaps I'll look into trying my attempt at a classic Cap comic style. But God, that just is not. I've seen so many cosplayers who are good cosplayers attempt that, and it still just looks goofy as hell.
I mean,
one
thing to kind of embrace about the old comic look is that it's gonna look goofy no matter what. So just own that. But is it more just like
there's goofy and then there's goofy?
There's a way, almost like if somebody made the armor out of like a resin,
right?
You know, and like it was like, and then they made that out of a urethane.
True.
You know, so it was movable and stuff.
Right. Kind of like what they do with the Aquaman,
Yeah.
Jason Momoa.
Oh, yeah.
There's plenty of cosplayers out there that have that sort of suit going on. That's scales. It's literally fish scales.
So, I mean, there's a couple cosplayers that have cap suits that are based off like the kind of comic style, like Obi Arkham. It's a little bit too much muscle for me. I don't like the fake muscles. Personally, like I'm here for like a light muscle suit or something. Maybe add a little chest or something. But like also when it's just like you're so yoked and they're like like their shoulders are like the side of their head and it's just like it doesn't look proportionate to them. I don't know. I don't think his suit looks that like it doesn't look bad. I think it's an unmasked studio, but I'm not too fond on like big muscle suits.
Right. It reminds me of that terrible Captain America comic book art drawing where the Captain America, he's like doing like the side profile thing.
Rob Seafield.
Yeah, that's something like that. Yeah,
and
it's just like people always just meme the hell out of that one. It just cracks me up.
We were actually talking about tonight dressing up as some of the Gotham's finest, and
because we know you loved us being in cosplay last time, so.
Right? Yeah. If you like us being in costume, then definitely make sure to leave a comment right now.
Yeah,
so that we definitely want to know if you guys want to see us in costumes or just kind of wearing whatever. Man. But we decided not to because I was like, hey, I gotta wear this uncomfortable Batman suit, this mask, this thing that's just like pushing up against my nose. Right. And for me, it's just like, it's hard for me to like pay attention and give my all to the podcast when I'm kind of in that mode.
Right.
And since we're talking about the Batman, it's before we even get into the new conversation, it's kind of interesting to hear back about other past Batmans and how they've had to deal with being in the costume.
Right. But I was thinking like in Batman Forever, that infamous scene where Batman does something that saves Robin on the boat in the water, right? And he goes up to Batman in the cockpit and he has to look over. Because he can't move his neck.
Right.
And literally, I love how actually was in The Dark Knight they made a joke about that. Like Christian Bale says like I can't move. The cowl needs to be moved.
That actual Batman suit is just had like the triple neck guard that had like the two double-sided gauntlets that they could pop out. Like it's one of my favorite all-time Batman costumes. And speaking of Batman suits, what do we think about the new Robert Pattinson Batman suit?
Well, honestly, that's a question I want to ask you because I know like there's been things going on the internet that he's not going to get the full suit that we're seeing. Like what we're going to get is like iterations up to that point.
I mean, here's my thing. I have a lot of theories and stuff about this film because I know all the comics, all the video games, everything. I've played it, done it, seen it all, and I like watched all the interviews. I was just watching this like 30-minute interview that they just had today, and I'm just like, ooh, me so excited. but definitely, I am kind of thinking it's going to happen. There's no, this is all speculation. Right. But if we've seen the commercials, we see there's like a big scene where, his costume gets like basically shot to shit.
Right. In the hallway, right?
He's like putting his arm and he's like, blocking off, and we're just seeing his whole chest piece get destroyed.
Right.
I really think that we're going to get a new iteration of the costume at the end. It's going to be just like a little bit more, I wouldn't say comic booky, kind of a little bit, but more of a base off of the Lee Bermejo Batman suit. So if it's not something that you've ever seen, it's really, really good. So this guy is a very, very realistic artist. He's been doing a lot of the different Batman issues, and he's actually created a couple Batman storylines, such as Batman Noel, as well as a really popular series called The Joker and story that's just honestly incredible. It's one of the best graphic novels I've ever read, and the art is all time out of this world. So I don't really care for the costume at all. I'll be honest. I don't hate it, but it's not like anything I would ever really want to cosplay as. You know? Right. Or, I don't know about you guys.
For me, maybe. I mean, I think back in the day when I was trying to think of, okay, if I was to do a Batman one, I was thinking the Pattinson one.
It does look pretty nice. Yeah. I don't like the gauntlets so much.
No.
And the pants are kind of just like upgraded tactical pants.
Yeah.
But I do like the armor, the torso armor, the shoulder armor.
I think the shoulder armor looks cool.
Yeah.
Chest armor looks all right.
Cape is cool. The cowl.
No,
I don't like that. It's like this leather stitch looking thing, and they even like. I remember seeing the other day someone post like, "Oh my god, they actually did use leather stitching for parts of the cowl." I'm just like, cool. That's not going to actually protect him. Yeah. So I don't really care. You know, like.
Yeah. I think that's kind of what we're gonna see kind of come at the very end. I don't even think we'll see it in action, but more so like I could see that being like the very last thing. Or something else, because I've been hearing a lot of rumors coming up about a potential new villain for the sequel, because there is already a lot of talks.
Yeah, there is. I was just looking today. There's going to be like, 6 kinds of villains that are going to be appearing in this movie? I
didn't even know that.
I heard something about that. I don't know.
I feel like that's easy to do with the first Batman film, because maybe they're not quite villains yet. Yeah, because that's usually how the villains work.
Right, they're going to be like kind of like play more into the second movie once that comes out. They're going to be introduced.
Like, who are we going to introduce? So we already have the Penguin, we have the Riddler, we have Carmine Falcone, if that counts.
Yeah.
We probably have another mob boss.
I'm also hearing Mad Hatter might actually be in this movie too.
Really?
Oh, as well as, was it Mothman, I think? Or
the fire guy.
Fire guy.
Firefly.
Yeah. They saying he might actually not like actually play a part in the actual plot, but his character will kind of like start his origin in this movie.
Yeah, and I'm excited for that. I think, and I've heard there's at the very ending there is another villain that comes about that is actually one of the Eternals. Whether or not they'll actually play this version for the final audience, we'll have to wait and see. But it's Batman's probably main villain. Also, there's a lot of speculation about, the sequel villain and who that will be. And there's some speculation that it could potentially be the Court of Owls, which would make for a really cool villain.
Interesting.
Absolutely.
But definitely something I would think would definitely be cooler to leave more towards the end of the trilogy, because if you know anything about the Court of Owls, there's actually a deep connection between Dick Grayson's grandfather being like the leader of that, and to kind of leave that out would to be leaving out a lot or a big piece of the history of it. And I think by the third movie we'll kind of have Dick Grayson stepping heavily into the form of Robin.
Oh yeah.
Who knows? Maybe. Here's the thing.
There's already speculation that he's going to make an appearance in this at some point. So.
It's hard to tell, because like with a trailer, there's really good scenes and stuff.
Right.
But it's like, what are we gonna get? Like, you know what I mean? Because as soon as we start the movie and as soon as like this first one's over, then we can really analyze like, oh my gosh, like we probably will see Robin. We probably will see some more of these eccentric Batman villains. But until we see it, it's hard to state. Exactly, and that's what's got me really excited is because there's already a lot of critics and movie raters that have been giving this movie such a strong rating, as well as DC Comics itself is extremely like.
I'm saying right now, like people are saying this is like the best Batman movie we've ever had. Like in the span of 30 years, the best one. I'm like, really?
I will say this. I was kind of a hater at first with Robert Pattinson. But then I went and saw a couple other movies that he's done. And just kind of seeing his range, seeing him as Batman, as Bruce Wayne, it works for me.
Totally.
Right?
And that's actually something that gets me excited about this movie is we're going to see a different Bruce Wayne that we have not seen in a long, long time. Everyone that we've kind of seen, Bruce Wayne is a mysterious guy. He's got his shit collected. He's got his act together. Like he's cool. You think about Michael Keaton, you think about Christian Bale, they just own that Bruce Wayne. You don't see him struggling. They're saying this guy, he's bringing that struggle back. He's 100%. Bringing the Bruce Wayne who he's trying to wrestle with. I'm still grieving the loss of my parents and realizing this world that I didn't realize my dad was involved in. Which kind of gets me excited because we have not seen that Bruce Wayne before.
And then he's going to also bridge the gap, I think, between the early Batman renditions in movies where he didn't kill, and then Batfleck where he very much kills.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to be that gap where it's like, this is why he struggles with it.
Right. I mean, we already saw like the teaser trailer way back when he was like pummels that guy to death.
From vengeance.
Exactly.
So, no.
You don't think so?
No. He's very brutal, but he's not going to kill anything. And also, I was actually just watching, like I said, a lot of interviews today. So I got a little backstory about, you know, Bruce Wayne and Batman.
All right.
And when they were asking him questions, Robert Pattinson, he just spoke about how he is very much so wanting to be Batman the whole movie. His character identifies himself as Batman, hasn't stepped into the role of Bruce Wayne. And that's something that we can actually see, and it makes sense. So so you see that in the commercials where, you know, he's at the funeral, and I believe it's like the mayor or something, and she's like talking to him, you're not doing enough for the city, basically, you know? And they do kind of downplay that by showing like, oh, Batman's doing a lot. But I think what we're going to see is, you know, as you kind of mentioned earlier, with the subplot of, you know, his parents being kind of related to crime and, you know, like there being some dirty money laundering or something going on there, which you see in the commercial when he states something to Alfred. He's like, see this, you know, like, why didn't you ever tell me this?
Well, and also the big thing the Riddler, I think, is trying to expose about Bruce Wayne's father, about, you know, the sins of the father. He's kind of etched that everywhere in his like code. So he already is trying to expose the Waynes for a lot of dirty laundry that they have been involved with, whether it's McConaughey or even just Cobblepot, who are in those movies. So
yeah, and I think that we'll just kind of see Bruce Wayne develop a little bit as a character in this one. And what I could potentially see is like the next one, he's like defining moment as Bruce Wayne is like him taking Dick Grayson under his wing almost. If they could do it right, you know, it's really got to be the right, but Dick Grayson, and it's really got to be done right, because it's really one of those things that's like very, very particular, tricky to do, because it's like bringing a kid in there. The kid actor has got to be like on par. The chemistry between the kid actor and Bruce Wayne has got to be there, and also it's got to like make sense. It can't be cheesy, because this series seems very real and grounded, and I just like, it's already kind of, as much as I love Robin, it's really hard to bring him in, because it's like it makes it like 10 times cheesier. It can get like out of control quick, you know.
It's they basically got to do what Harry Potter did with the three main stars for that. Like they did such a good job casting those three, and they grew up and fitted the role perfectly, which is my segment into my bridge, that there was two actors in this world that I give a shit about. That when I saw them the very first time, I went, this guy.
He's about to say Chris Evans, guys. He's
about it,
Chris Evans and Not Another Teen Movie. I saw him. I was like, first of all, this movie is friggin' great. Second of all, he is a phenomenal actor, and I hope to God he has a great acting career. What did he give us? The most picture perfect Captain America that we could have asked for, right? Robert Pattinson. First time I saw him, Harry Potter #4, Goblet of Fire. He was Cedric Diggory. And I was like, I don't know this guy.
No.
And I know he just gets killed, but he freaking sold his role, right? And ever since then, I've always been pumped. Like, I would love to see his career take off. And
so then what happened with Twilight when that finally came out?
Because that was his career taking off.
He did everything for those movies. You could see it in every scene. He is doing everything he can to save those roles.
He's doing what he's being told and still balanced out. I'm going to give you
He has a lot of like really unique roles and movies. There's this movie I just watched with him where he has like a brother that has Down syndrome. Good Time.
Yeah,
dude. It's one of those.
I was gonna say, if anyone has not seen Good Time and is having a bit of a hate towards Pattinson, go watch that movie. Your opinion about him is going to change completely.
Any hate towards Pattinson is just straight ignorance.
It's kind of hard to say, because he had The Lighthouse. He had a lot of really good roles.
Here's the thing. Even with The Lighthouse, I thought he did a great job with it.
That's what I'm saying.
It's a weird movie, but
you got to look at somebody that can like has the range, you know, somebody that can act, and also like he has a great looking chin for the Batman.
It works so well with the cowl as well. Like, it's like it just pops.
Like, it works really good. It's not like forced. Like for me, like George Clooney forced. Ben Affleck forced until I saw him.
Right.
And I hated that. I didn't hate it. I'm sorry. I really was expecting to not enjoy him as Batman. And I actually was like, oh, hey,
right?
Yeah, I actually kind of enjoyed him a bit more as Bruce Wayne. Like, he did a good Bruce Wayne, I thought.
He did do a good Bruce Wayne.
I agree. Yeah, I think his Bruce Wayne was a little bit better than
especially in that universe, the one that Zack
Snyder. The Justice League, he really carried the Justice League as Bruce Wayne. As Batman, not too much.
No, they made him a joke.
But I kind of liked it because it was kind of showing like Batman's getting older and he's kind of bringing these people in together, you know?
It's really kind of more of just Bruce Wayne's struggle with like, I can't do this on my own. I need a team of something to.
And not only that, the
Steppenwolf comes into the picture. Yeah,
the teams are all basically walking gods, and he's just like, I got a lot of money.
I'm just a man.
He's got the cyborg guy that can do everything, which is cool in the Zack Snyder movie when they kind of like explained his deeper like.
Oh man, so necessary to have that Zack.
Exactly. It made Ray Lewis or Cyborg just look way better.
Absolutely,
way better. It made him so much more of a valuable asset, which he just wasn't in Justice League. No. And it's hard to make that when you are limited to 2-hour film time. Right. And that's just something with, Warner Brothers in particular. They try to cut stuff down because when it comes to opening night on these theaters, if a movie is 2 hours compared to 3 hours, the 2 hours is going to show 5 to 6 more times throughout that like 12, 14 hours. Okay, that's probably more like 3 or 4, but 3 or 4 filled theaters times however many theaters are in the United States alone. That's millions and millions of dollars.
Not to mention just the simple fact, like a 2-hour movie, you already have enough people going like 2 hours in a theater chair.
Yeah,
I think not.
For us, we're all loving it.
We're like 4 hours, cool. I'll get the popcorn.
So I want to actually ask you guys about that. The fact that this is like the longest Batman movie we have now today. The fact that's almost stretching to 3 hours. The cut that they showed in Argentina, where they were already getting like great reviews of it, was 4 hours.
What?
It was. Yeah, only last year when they were screening this in Argentina to test audiences, it was a 4-hour cut.
Wow.
So I'm asking myself,
I want to live in Argentina.
Yeah, I'd watch that.
But what makes me excited about this movie is what do you need 3 hours to 4 hours to talk about with this story gets me so pumped.
I think there's going to be a lot of development on all the which way around Bruce Wayne. And a character that kind of came to mind was Lucius Fox. I think that's someone that I really want to see introduced. Because
he's going to give him all his tech. So
what we're realizing is this Batman has created everything that he has now is by him, and if you read the prequel book, it explains a lot of stuff. But I definitely want to see him interact with Lucius Fox so that he can kind of take his gear and himself to the next level. And I feel like that's something that they can really do and make it make sense easily. I love the detective noir, easy, grounded vibe, but it's like, hey, you're Bruce Wayne, you're a billionaire. Like I do want to see it taken to a new level. You know what I mean? I do want it like taken just past like, this costume you made, but like this costume that you had created through Wayne Tech and like Lucius Fox.
This Batmobile that you made. Cool, it's great, looks awesome, does the job, but we very much see, like, in the trailer alone, he's going to demolish that thing by the end of the movie.
Of course,
so what's the new Batmobile going to look like?
Exactly. And I feel like this Batman movie has the potential to revitalize DC Comics, because it's really... their franchise is really it's on the decline. They have like this Flash movie that had a bunch of leaks about the plot lines and stuff. It's not good at all. And this movie can really regenerate like what it is about comics that we love most. And honestly, you were just talking about something, and I said, well, it's a Batman movie, because people fail to realize that Batman is one of those brands that is like on par with like Star Wars.
Totally.
There's nothing, in my opinion, that's bigger than Batman. Like the name itself,
But I think also something DC needs to embrace about Batman is, sorry to say this, the darkness about it. It is something that separates itself from Marvel and that universe.
Unfortunately, we have the 1950s or whatever Batman series that was extremely comical. As the animated series was still, as much as it got dark in that series.
I'm going to actually kind of say the animated series actually got as dark as probably any kind of animated show could get back in that day.
It did.
So they actually did do that show did a lot with pushing barriers. And
it did.
Paul Dini, I watched this like 2-hour documentary on HBO Max. He just claimed how he literally would be like in this office every week thinking he was going to get fired because like they were pushing just so much stuff. And that back when there was like a lot of like rules and like I totally agree. And I think what we'll see in this series is it will be hyper violent, but also like I don't think that we'll see a lot of like the punches landing. You know, we'll kind of like be like face like to like right here on Batman, you know, where it's like showing him who, but you're not like seeing the punches. It's
implied he's pummeling, but you're not actually seeing the pummeling.
No, that's actually one thing I want to say I love about Matt Reeves directing this movie. I've seen a lot of his other movies, the Planet of the Apes movies. He did Cloverfield. He also did the remake for Let the Right One In, Let Me In.
You know what's so funny that you're mentioning this right now?
Shit,
I was looking up this movie. Actually, because I was not looking at it. I've seen it. I was trying to remember what this movie was called because I was like, I actually saw it in theaters, which is interesting because I haven't seen a lot of movies in theaters, and I just remembered it vividly. It's not like a super scary movie. It's kind of like this like
it's pretty basic
bond between the boy and the girl.
Yeah,
and wasn't the girl actually the girl from Kick-Ass?
I think so. Yeah,
she was right.
Yeah,
I think it was a pretty good movie.
No,
I remember,
actually, I've seen both versions. I've seen the Swedish version as well as this version, and I liked how he adapted it for an Americanized audience.
So he made this.
Yes, he did direct that.
There's a very like dark, gritty, certain type of like slowed down vibe to the movie that makes it like unforgettable in a sense. You know what I mean?
And one thing I'm going to say, I love what Matt Reeves is doing in this movie is I think he's blending all the best elements of all Batman movies and shows and content in the past 30 years and bringing it into this Gotham City. So, like you have the stylized version that Tim Burton brought, which was not practical at all. No. And then you had like the Nolan version, which was. And I feel like this is going to find the nice kind of like middle ground with that.
We don't talk about the Jerry Bruckheimer.
No. It has this nice little place in history.
It really has a lot of elements about it that are very unique and cool. Lots of colors contrasting off each other and just set pieces and different things that make it unique. And Chris O'Donnell as Robin was epic, you know, and also Val Kilmer. Batman.
He delivered it.
He delivered
it. I did.
Remember, he said something about me looking like Val Kilmer. I'm like, hey, bro, I'll take it. So he kind of pulls the Chris O'Donnell vibes, so it's cool. Even though, like,
possible duo cosplay, man.
Hey, no, we've done it. We've done that. We've rocked it. We'll do it another time.
Again, man. I feel like it's time to do it. Yeah.
Oh, the Batman time is here. But hey, guys, I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Are we excited for this movie? Yes, we are.
I think, we're pumped for the movie. It's going to be great. And I think the cast is just going to deliver on all fronts.
Good cast. Good cast. Colin Farrell is
I cannot believe the actor he has turned into. Ever since I saw him in SWAT, I thought for sure he was just going to be an action hero dude.
Yeah. He has come such a long way.
But he does so much, man.
Whoever his agent is now, he's working double time to get this guy good work.
Yeah.
He's hell yeah.
He's doing a good job.
Super
he's delivering.
Cool. And I'm sorry to say this. I don't know how people view Zoe Kravitz for.
She's gonna crush it,
dude.
Totally gonna crush it.
Enthralled with her. I'm sorry. It's like I thought Anne Hathaway could not top a Selena Kyle. It's like
I thought that would be easy. Selena Kyle to top.
It's working. It's working.
She was. I liked her.
I'm not a big Anne Hathaway guy.
I thought she did pretty good at being like the subtle seductress type thing.
I never cared for Anne Hathaway. No hate towards her. Like, do your thing, girl. But like.
I know a lot of people for some reason do not like her. I don't understand it myself because I'm just like.
Well, let me just kind of say this. Originally, when she auditioned for the part, she thought she was going to be Harley Quinn. So here she comes in acting all silly and goofy like Harley Quinn is. And it's like, that was great. We were thinking Selena, and immediately in a split second, she just like crosses her legs and gets all Selena Kyle seductress. I'm like, okay. That's how she got the part.
Yeah, I need to see this video.
You want to
see this video yesterday?
Somewhere.
Yeah, we are extremely excited to see the new Batman series.
So much.
It's so much excitement, and we will definitely discuss it once it comes out. The future of the Batman and what we have as far as sequels and past that, because I think there's going to be a lot to talk, uncover, and just discuss about it, right, boys?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Hey, well, thank you guys so much for viewing. If you haven't already, make sure to like, comment what kind of content you'd like to see us do next. And as always, we're the Cos-Bros. We'll see you guys next time. Peace out.